Welcome to Tech Talk with WSU Tech, where we dive into all things WSU Tech and highlight the voices within our college community. I am Mandy Fouse, and today we have the honor of chatting with Charlee Wilson. Charlee, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So we always like to kick these off with having you introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do and how you move the mission of the college forward.
Sure. Well, my name is Charlee Wilson. I'm the Director of TRIO Student Support Services here at WSU Tech. I've been here at WSU Tech for just a little over 7 years, and for the last 4, I've been the Director of TRIO. TRIO is a program that's geared towards helping students be successful from backgrounds that are first-generation college students, low-income backgrounds, or students who have documented disabilities. And it's just holistic success. And what I mean by that is we just look at the entirety of the student and what they need, and we build those relationships so that we get to know what that is, and we just work them through. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, that is what we are here today to talk about, is to learn a little bit more about the TRIO program. So before we really dive in, what, in your words, or I guess through your experience, what is TRIO? Why the name TRIO? And if you can explain a little bit about what that is.
So TRIO's been around for quite some time. So
Okay.
it actually has its roots back in the 1960s. TRIO stands for basically the first 3 programs that were started by the Higher Education Act. So we have Student Support Services, that is what our program is here at WSU Tech. There's Upward Bound, and then there's Talent Search, which is dealing with younger populations, middle school into high school populations. Since then, now there's a total of 8 TRIO programs that represent many different populations, but still that same background, first generation, low income, disabilities. But that's where it's got it started. And so what makes it special is these are populations that are challenged backgrounds.
Okay.
And so if you look at the numbers, students that are from those backgrounds, they have less success when it comes to college. And so we're there just to, raise the bar, to narrow that gap so that they're more successful in college and moving forward to their future educational goals, also their career goals. So that's what we're all about.
Awesome. And why do you think this is important for WSU Tech to have a TRIO program?
Well, if you look at the populations, we have a large percentage of students from those 3 populations that are TRIO eligible students. And so having just that extra set of services that are there, having people that they know that are dedicated there for their success outside the classroom. So we are not faculty, we're outside the classroom, but we support faculty from outside the classroom. We support other programs. And of course, the big thing is we support our students. And so it just increases that connection to the college for students in our program.
That's great. So can you describe what the primary services that are offered by TRIO?
Sure. So definitely we have academic and career advising. That's a big piece of it. So we want to help them understand what their major is, if they're wanting to transfer, that process, understanding their major and the transfer process, the career. So many of the students come in with an idea of what career they want to go into in the future, but we help develop that more, understanding that career area and all options that they can use their major for. So that's a big one. Tutoring. Our bread and butter is math and English tutoring. A lot of students struggle with math and English, so we help with that. We have specialists on staff. The transfer advising that I've already mentioned, but we go even further and we take our students to get their eyes on different colleges that they may be interested in. Culture enrichment events and activities where they can engage in some events and activities they may have never thought of or never had an opportunity. So, and I go back to that holistic. So each one of our students just has their own story, their own set of needs. And so just building that relationship with a TRIO success coach, we kind of get to know what that is. And so we can serve them where they're at right now.
That's great. And it's incredible work that you and your team are doing, really
you.
transforming lives by providing these types of services that can truly change whether or not someone is going to be successful. Do you?
I 100% agree. There's so many students that come into our program that they don't really have a true picture of what success is. And so I've definitely seen many of our students develop that over time. They just have to get started. Small successes build upon one another. And so it's really great to see that develop within a student over time.
Yeah. So how many students are you able to service through TRIO?
So each year we're able to work with 140 students in our program. So
wow.
We're a grant program and outlined by the Department of Ed. That is what we are funded for. So, and of course it's not a new 140 each year. We have, carryover of students that are continuing with us. But yeah, we're limited to 140 each year.
Great. And so you said that Trio is a grant funded program. How long has Trio been a part of
Mhm.
WSU Tech?
So we've just completed our 4th year, and
Okay.
so for TRIO grants, they're in blocks of 5 years. So we're in our 5th year of the block, and we just this summer we as a college. So it was definitely a team effort. We did the rewrite process, so we should be finding about our funding for the next 5 years, hopefully late this fall, but most likely into the spring semester.
Okay. Well, we are hoping.
Oh yeah,
This is definitely making a difference. I mean, 140 students over 4 years. I know you said
hmm
that some are returning and
right.
things like that, but the incredible impact that has.
Yeah, I'd say over the life of our 5 years here, we'll impact 500, close to 600 students, and so that's awesome to realize that
Yeah,
we had an opportunity to do that.
definitely. I would say if you're able, I feel like if you're able to impact one life, you're doing your job and you're making a difference in this
hmm
world. But if you're able to impact on such a large scale, it's just
Right.
incredible. And your team, I mean, you're not this massive team, right?
No, we have 4 people that work within
Okay.
Trio. Myself as the director, we have 2 success coaches, and then we have an admin support, which within Trio, Zyra, which is our admin
Yeah.
support. She works a lot with our events and activities. So those culture enrichment and volunteer opportunities, she sets those up and communicates those out. So, but yeah, we're a small but strong staff.
Small but mighty.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
right.
that just the way WSU Tech is?
hmm
Small but mighty, making a difference.
100%.
Yes. So, you said, really the reason that you're here with Trio and the reason that you and your team show up every day are about these students
hmm
and about changing their lives. Do you have any like special stories or like favorite stories
Sure.
that you've had over the years?
Yes, of course. And I think, any of our Trio staff would come in here with those stories as well.
Right.
One in particular stands out to me, and honestly, all of us in Trio were involved in this student. But I had a student that a few years ago applied to be a part of Trio, and actually, it was assigned to me. I was her success coach, and there was a language barrier. I will be very honest with you. Her first language was Spanish, and so she had limited English skills, but we worked through it.
Yeah.
There was challenges. I wrapped in some students who I knew spoke Spanish, and we made it work. But still, at the same time, I felt there was lacking on my part. I didn't feel like I was doing enough for the student. And yes, she was doing fine in classes. She was involved as far as working with me, but I felt that she was wanting more on her end as well.
Yeah.
That next summer, Zyra, as I mentioned, she came on as a new staff within our Trio program, and Zyra, she speaks Spanish, and so from day one, I said, I want you to reach out to this student. Just send an email. Can you send it in Spanish?
Yeah.
And I said, I think that is the big barrier that we're facing here. And I really want to get this student really more involved and feel belonging here within our program and at WSU Tech. So Zyra sent out that email, and within 20 minutes, the student sent the email right back to her, and,
Oh,
and,
wow.
and we were able to set up a meeting. And so I still wanted to be engaged with that student. So Zyra, myself, and the student, we met, we talked through things. And so, all told, the student was involved in our program 3 years, and it was amazing to watch her development over the 3 years. And I really feel that if that connection with Zyra, and also I feel that the student really felt that I had a desire to see her, connect and continue to grow. If we wouldn't have been able to break that down and
Mhm.
really get it into the student more, that I don't know if she would have had such a great experience at WSU Tech as she did, but she was a very successful student, got very involved in many of our student activities and events, and then just she's now at WSU. So she just transferred over to WSU, and eventually she'll transfer over to K-State into the engineering program. But
Wow.
she interesting timing, because earlier this week she contacted me and just was telling me, "Hey, I'm over here at
Mm.
WSU and got things going, and I'm really enjoying it, and got involved in Trio at WSU." And so
Oh, great.
those success stories really carry with you, where you can, because of the time investment with the student, developing that relationship, watching them grow over time, it's just very rewarding experience.
Yes. Well, and I can only imagine, and thank you so much for sharing that
Yeah.
story, but seeing someone coming in who is struggling to connect because, their, language or English not being their first language, and just
Mhm.
really wanting to be here
Wanting-
and wanting to do that, but having this against them and
Yep.
having somebody come alongside them, not making them feel less than,
Mhm.
but making them feel like, you know what, we're here to figure this out together. And then, you're just in tune of being aware of all the situations and the challenges that are facing our students, especially our trio
Exactly.
students, and knowing, you know what, let's bring Zyra in, who's incredible. Like,
Mhm.
big shout out to Zyra. I always love walking into your space because she's always there and
Right
she's
there.
smiling. She's like,
Yep.
what can I help you with? And so I love getting to interact with her, but I can only imagine that that's the same experience that that student had with her.
Right.
And that, I think that's really, really impactful. And now she's on to WSU, onto
K-State in the
onto
future.
K-State in the future, going to be killing it as an engineer. If she's listening, like,
Mhm.
we're so proud of the work that you and your trio team are doing to impact these students' lives,
Mhm.
because we really see that.
And I think the connection is a big thing there.
Yeah.
It's weird the type of connections that we make, the smallest things that may seem insignificant, but just making that connection with the student. A lot of times that's all you have to do, And so
Yeah.
once you've developed that relationship that then builds into trust, then you can really help mold and move them forward.
That's great. So how do
Yeah.
these students come to you? Like, how you have 140 spots,
Mhm.
we'll just say spots. Like, what do these students look like,
Mhm.
or what kind of background do they have?
All different backgrounds, of course, the shared first generation low income or disability. But I would say if you want to look at what our typical trio student is right
Mhm.
now, non traditional students, we're heavily made up of non traditional students, a lot of single moms that have come back to school after years out. Um, that's our typical right now. We're heavily, probably 80%, 85% of our students each year are female. And
Wow.
probably 60% are single moms, heavily that. But still, I mean, we have students from all different majors, all different backgrounds, different ages. Um, the only thing we look at is first generation low income and disability. If they have one of those three, they're qualify for a program. As far as how they get into our program, there is an application. We try to make that as simple as possible. It takes about 5 minutes to fill out, and then we start
Right.
looping them in. But they come from recommendations all over. Our staff and faculty do a great job. We've really gotten out there, got our word out of what TRIO does and how we help our students, and we have a lot of buy-in at the college. And so our faculty and staff does a great job sending students our way. Myself and other TRIO staff, we go out and we talk to students, orientations, classroom visits, things like that. So we fill up pretty quickly each year.
I can only imagine. So that was going to be my next question was, how, as a colleague of yours, and to the, most of our listeners are going to be people within the WSU Tech community, how can they support you? Or if we notice that there is a student who's needing a hand up and needing a little bit of extra assistance, how do we get them connected with you?
Yeah. First off, I'd say just continuing doing what our faculty and staff are doing now. I mean,
Right.
it's doing great. But yeah, if you have a student that you feel that would be, would benefit from our program, of course, you can stop by our TRIO office there at South location in room E102. Shoot any of us in TRIO an email, give us a phone call. But I am working on this new process to clean up the referral process. It's going to be an online fillable form, and I'll be sharing that out our early fall semester here, so that if you are a faculty or staff and it's a student, refer them. Just fill that out and send it my way, and we'll take it from there. Community too. So we definitely have, faculty and staff that say, "Hey, I know this person that is in my church, or they're, just involved in the community somehow, and they know this person. They're thinking about WSU Tech. If they're not enrolled at WSU Tech, I still will talk to them about TRIO. I
Wow.
want them to know about what we offer if you do come to WSU Tech, and of course, that always a lot of times goes to I refer them out to someone else at
Right.
WSU Tech. But yeah, but honestly, going back to Mandy, just continue to do what you're doing. Support TRIO and understand we're there to help our students.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the work that you and your trio team do.
Sure.
You've also been very busy
Mhm.
outside of just trio because you cover many different areas. We're just really focusing in on that. But for the last few years, you've been serving on one of Sherry's advisory committees on her Same Team, One
Same team.
Goal,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
So will you talk a little bit about the work that you've been doing there?
Yeah, 2 years I've been involved in that. So year one, the project was first year experience in new student orientation. I thought that was a great project that came out. and really has got going this year. I know just talking with Crystal, who's involved in that, really doing good things as
Yeah.
far as that upfront process of bringing students in and feeling connection. Then this year, we were involved in a mentoring project, which really became much more than that. And so, really, have to everybody on the committee was involved in that as far as developing that idea. But it did stay with a part of it is the mentoring, student mentoring.
Okay.
But we also felt that the development of a success center, a student success center, would be great for WSU Tech. So that project involved both student mentoring and this U Lead Success Center. So
Yeah.
just over the summer, we presented that to leadership team. They bought in. They came back and we had some conversations, and we have an idea of what this is going to look like. But really, we're in the infancy of it, and myself and Ildo is going to be involved. I'm really looking forward. So on my end, with the student mentoring piece of it, I'm really looking forward to it. I really buy into mentoring at all levels, and so whether you're working with a mentor for professional development or professional growth, or if you're a student and you're just needing a connection, I think that is the big thing. Just having a connection with somebody that um,
Yeah.
they're dedicated to you. I mean, really, that's what it is. They're all about dedication to you. And so over this fall semester, so like I said, we're just getting started, but it's a lot of work's going to be happening this semester to really get this going. But really looking forward to tackling it.
Yeah. So what will the U Lead Success Center offer?
So really, it's a hub. I mean, if you
Okay.
can think of it like that, it's a hub where, yes, the mentoring can take place, but really the mentoring can take place anywhere.
Anywhere.
But just the idea of that there are many services and programs that feed into this Success Center, so
Mhm.
that a student knows that if they go to the Success Center, pretty much no matter what they need, that they're going to be able to get help there. And so I just think that's a great idea, instead of having to go several different places to figure out where you can engage with your mentor. If you go that route, so let's say you engage with your mentor, and if the mentor doesn't have the solve,
Yeah.
then they can refer to the services and program that are linked with the U Lead Success Center. Or if a student just directly goes to the center, then they know someone is there that then can guide them, can navigate them to the right service or program for help.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this kind of sounds like a natural extension of the work that's being done in Trio. Will they have the same requirements as far as to enter the U Lead Success Center, or how is it different?
No. So this is open for all WSU Tech students. So that's a great
Yeah.
thing. A lot of conversation about that. Sherry actually asked me how does the work of the U Lead Success Center differ from what you tried to do in Trio? And I was like, there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
The only difference is we're expanding this to be available to any student at WSU Tech. So I think that's the great thing. So not all students will want to engage with the mentor, or maybe not all students will want to, engage with the U Lead Success Center, but it is there for everybody.
That is great. And
Mhm.
I think there's so many students that, maybe they wouldn't identify themselves as disadvantaged or
Right.
first generation or things like this. And this is just another step of lowering that barrier to getting
Right.
help and assistance, that
Mhm.
even if they could qualify for Trio, maybe this is just a way that they can come in,
Right.
or any of those students can come
Mhm.
in and just get a little extra help. 'Cause, yeah.
Yep. I think so. And I also feel it'll be a great feeder into Trio as well. So, you will have those students that need to do minimal with the U Lead Success Center, 1 or 2 visits, they're good to go. But then there will be the students that have more challenges and obstacles, and again, referring out a
Right.
student that comes in and working with a mentor, or working with someone within the U Lead Success Center. If they realize, hey, this student needs more, then they can start talking to them about Trio or other services as well. And so I just think it'll be a great feeder into other programs. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for spending this time today.
Yeah.
Thank you for your servant heart, for spending the last 7 years here at WSU Tech. By, you and your team are doing, like I said, incredible work that really is making a difference. I mean, I can't imagine going on commencement day and
Yeah.
seeing these Trio students and these students you've interacted
Mhm.
walking across the stage. I'm like getting emotional
It's-
about that. Like,
It's
I
very
get emotional
rewarding.
every commencement day that
Mhm.
seeing just the impact
Mhm.
that your team is making on these students. It's really incredible, and I know that's leading to our gain and retention numbers. It's leading to all of these things
Yes.
that I don't think people understand, that it's just it's like that pebble in in the pond where it's just the
Right.
ripples out, and you guys really are that pebble that is creating those ripples in WSU Tech in these individuals' lives. And I just,
Sure.
on behalf of all of us, thank you guys for the work you do.
Well, thank you for that. But more than anything,
Yeah.
it's just very rewarding to work with that and see that
I'm sure.
growth. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
thank you.
All right. Well, that wraps us up for this episode of Tech Talks. If you are listening today, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the work that you are doing to support everyone in this college, for supporting Trio and supporting Charlee. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and stay engaged and stay connected with all the things that we're doing at WSU Tech. Thanks for tuning in.